I'm not worried about Book. I think he's going to come out here and have a great game, too.
Kevin Durant, after Saturday's game 1 from Devin Booker, 18 points, 5 of 16 shooting. He had always been able to take advantage of the Rudy Gobert matchup in the past. He was not able to, not that Rudy Gobert was on him one-on-one, but in terms of kind of arranging the defensive coverage, right, to get some looks at Rudy Gobert. Boy, he wasn't able to do that. He was locked up by Jaden McDaniels and Nickeil Alexander-Walker the whole game.
Yeah,
man.
what's the stat with McDaniels on him? 1 for 7? Was that what it was?
That sounds familiar.
When McDaniel was on him. Listen, it was a bad game for Devin Booker, and you know my belief. Your best players have to play well for you to win. And their best players didn't play well enough. KD was good. But he was a minus 18, by the way. Like, all this talk about how great Kevin Durant was, and he was good. He made shots, but he was a minus 18. So, but Devin Booker was a no-show. In a big game, he was 5 of 16 from the field, 2 of 6 from deep, 18 points, only 2 rebounds, 5 assists. Book was a minus 18. Oh, Durant was a minus 20. I'm sorry about that. Durant was a minus 20. Book was a minus 18. And Beal was a minus 9. Your top 3 guys combined for 64 points, I believe. 64 is what you got out of your big 3. There's been games, Burnsy, where we've seen them 75, 80, 85, 90.
Sure.
We've seen those type of games. But their big 3 combined for 64 points. Minnesota's big 3, the offensive juggernaut that they are, in Rudy Gobert. And then Edwards and Towns, who can score. They actually had more points than the Suns' big 3.
Yeah, and look, Kevin Durant was fine, and I understand what you're going with the plus
fine.
minus. He was fine. He
couldn't
good.
guard Edwards.
He couldn't. No, he couldn't. He couldn't. Not too many people can.
No,
but no, he couldn't guard
no.
Edwards. He couldn't. But by Kevin Durant, I got nothing bad to say about Kevin Durant's game. He on any other day, you're going to take 31 points on 17 shots from him every day that ends in Y, with 7 rebounds and a steal and a block. Yeah, the turnovers, he had 5 of them. That was a little problematic. Look, let's get right to this. This is about Devin Booker. Let's have the conversation about this. It's not about Kevin Durant, and I don't even really think this is about Bradley Beal. He was fine, too. He was just fine.
Yeah.
This is about Devin Booker. This is your team, your moment, and yes, defensively, they locked you up. You're Devin Booker. You have to figure out a way to adjust. You have to figure out a way to adapt.
Yeah.
You have to figure out a way to get around it. And it's that if the Suns are to have a chance in this series, it is literally, Gambo, that simple. Yes, it's a difficult matchup for you defensively. You're Devin Booker. You're one of the 10 best players in this league. You've got to figure it out, and that's what this comes down to at this point.
Yeah, there's a knock on Devin Booker that's really not fair. He's been a really good playoff performer in many of his games.
Yes.
He's had bad elimination games. Like last year, he had a 47-point game against the Denver Nuggets in a win. He had a 36-point game against the Denver Nuggets in a win. He had a 35-point game in a loss, but he only made 4 baskets and had 12 points against the Denver Nuggets in the finale. You go back to the Dallas game, obviously probably one of the worst memories for any current Suns fan is when they got eliminated by Dallas and they lost by, what seemed like 50, but it was really like 30-something points. 3 baskets made, 11 points in the elimination game for Devin Booker. So he has had some really poor elimination games, and he's had a lot of other great games. That wasn't an elimination game, but that was not good Devin Booker. That wasn't great Devin Booker. That wasn't even good Devin Booker.
No.
That was bad Devin Booker.
That was the kind of Devin Booker that you keep that up, this series is going to be over a lot faster than anybody would have thought.
No doubt.
Devin Booker today, on what he saw looking back on the film, this is from our own Kellen Olson, who's with the team in Minneapolis right now.
I mean, we had it going. I think, the game got lost in the last 5-6 minutes of the third quarter where things domino effect. But, if I'm not making shots and my teammates are, I'm not opposed to that either. Games don't go as noticed as that if we win the game and I have a 5 for 15 or 5 for 16. So, it's not my opportunity. I mean, it's not my job out there to just make sure I have an efficient, great night. I'm trying to do everything on the floor to win the game.
But it helps when he has an efficient, great night. It helps make it easier for them to win when he has an efficient, great night. And I'll tell you something else about Devin Booker, too, that has been concerning to a certain extent this season. that when things don't go his way and when the challenge is there, especially defensively, sometimes I think he gets outside of himself a little bit, right? And it's a lot of jawing with the referees, and it's a lot of...
He led both teams in whining in that game, and I hate that. I hate it.
I do too. It's focusing because then it feels like it's been easier this year to push him off target if you're an opposing team, to get under his skin a little bit and make him play in a way he doesn't want to play and make him act in a way he probably doesn't want to act. It feels like it's been easier to push him into that realm this year than it has been in years past. And I felt that happening on Saturday. I don't know if you agree, but you could see Devin Booker just kind of lose himself a little bit in that game because of the calls he wasn't getting.
Takes the focus off.
The calls they were getting, right? It happens with him.
That's 4 or 5 times in a game. I could see he just wasn't happy with something, and he's arguing about it. Like, stop. Please, for the love of God, stop.
Yeah.
Just play. Get back on defense. Make a play. Didn't go your way. Go make a play on the other end. Go come up with a steal. Block a shot. Do something.
Now, to be fair,
force a shot clock violation, a turnover. Do something.
All NBA stars do the same thing. It's not just Devin Booker. They all do it. We could watch any NBA game, pick out the biggest star on the court, and we're going to see him doing the same thing. But it feels like with Book, his recovery time from doing it, like it used to piss him off, make him angry, and he'd go out and do great things. It feels like this year it pisses him off, and he just has a hard time reining it back in and making plays happen on the basketball end. Now, I don't know if this is who Al McCoy was referring to when he was on the morning show today. Did you hear this?
I heard that he was on the morning show. I did not hear the interview.
I have no idea who Al McCoy, if anybody, specifically was talking about when he said this.
Okay, can I say 2 words to the Suns players this morning?
Yes.
Stop crying.
Thank you.
This is the playoffs. This is for the big boys. When you think you're fouled, get out there and be aggressive. Let's see some of that aggressiveness. Just stop crying on every call. You're not going to get calls. We know that whole scenario. We're not going to talk about the officiating. Just play as physical as has to be played and stop crying.
Wow. I did not hear that. I did not hear that.
I didn't either until Lauren.
But he's 100% right.
Until Lauren played it for me earlier today. I'm like, woo, wow. Still got the blowtorch working after all these years.
I watch other NBA games at times. I don't pay as much attention to it. I do get the feeling that the Suns whine a lot. Now, if anybody ever had a stat on that, what team whines the most? I would think our team's top 5. There might be a team that whines more or 2 or 3 teams. I would think we're top 5 in that category because it seems like that's that. But stop it. I agree with Al. Stop it. You're on the road in a playoff game. It's going to be physical. Some calls you're not going to get. Just play harder. Just play harder. And don't argue about everything. This isn't the regular season. It's the playoffs. It's different.
Yeah, there's going to be a different level of physicality. It's the playoffs. There always are. There always are. And there's no question the Suns really struggled to adjust to that. And Minnesota did not struggle to adjust to that at all because that's how Minnesota plays. They're big, they're strong, they're physical, and that's what they do.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.